The Sri Lankan President has said the country can achieve economic growth again. Towards the end of the year, things are going to change, he says, while the government hopes to extricate the country from its economic crisis by 2026. In a tweet earlier, Ranil Wickremesinghe had warned that the first 6 months of this year were going to be difficult. He said a lot of unpopular decisions were on the table, but if the country stood together, a developed nation could be achieved by 2048. The President said this in Parliament, even as segments of the Buddhist Sangha held a protest march against the government's decision on the full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. The protest march was organized by the Bhikkhu Collective, representing the three main Buddhist sects. As local council elections are scheduled to be held in March, Wickremesinghe had last month announced the cabinet had agreed to fully implementing the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. He also reiterated this in his address to the nation on Sri Lanka's Independence Day recently. Passed in 1987 as a part of the India-Lanka Accord, the 13th Amendment created the provincial council system in Sri Lanka, which devolves powers over land, the police, education, health, agriculture, housing and finances to the provinces. The amendment has received some strong resistance from some sections of the country, including the leaders of Sri Lankan Buddhist clergy. The Buddhist clergy have said that by implementing the 13th Amendment, the government is encouraging separatism in the country. Move on. Used the 13th Amendment to win the support of the Tamil parliamentarians in Sri Lanka, realizing that he may need the support of Tamil MPs to be able to govern. In the next 2 years, Wickremesinghe has, in fact, again dangled the hopes of the full implementation of the 13th Amendment before the elections. For more on this story, let's now go across to our correspondent Dasuni Athora, who joins us from Colombo. Dasuni, if you could just explain to our viewers, why is this 13th Amendment so controversial?
Well, yes, arguably it is known that the 13th Amendment to the Sri Lankan Constitution is one of the most widely criticized and debated amendments to the Constitution, specifically because of this concept of a devolution of power amongst each province. Now, Sri Lanka has 9 provinces in its country. So the real question here is whether any executive president would really implement this much spoken of 13th Amendment to the Constitution. And when we look at the Parliament over the past few years and even decades, we can see the minority parties, more specifically the parties led with Muslim leaders as well as Tamil leaders, have pushed for the full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. However, majority Buddhist and Sinhala-led parties here in Sri Lanka have voiced their concern and opposition, noting that Sri Lanka should not be going for a concept of devolution of power, where power will be devolved across provinces.
All right, Dasuni, thanks very much for bringing us all those details.